6 days and still no sign of an accused double murderer, how voters can help reduce prison populations. Plus, at OU, homecoming weekend is here. This is OU Nightly.
The family of the victims from Michael Vance's deadly rage today buried their dead.
Luther schools closed for the day to accommodate the outpouring of sympathy and grief for Vance's aunt and uncle, Ronald and Kay Wilkson.
And earlier today, the Lincoln County District Attorney officially charged Vance with murdering the Wilksons. Police say the last Sunday, Vance killed the couple and wounded 2 Wellston police officers before disappearing. The search for Michael Vance Jr. has extended past Oklahoma borders. People have reported sightings in the Texas Panhandle all the way to Little Rock, Arkansas, but none of these sightings were him.
Shay, it's still really hot outside.
Yes, I really hope it's not this hot when it's Saturday and it's homecoming.
Yep. Grant, any word on that?
Well, unfortunately, tomorrow is going to be another hot day. Today, though, right now, sitting at 83 degrees right now in Norman, 85 up in Oklahoma City. Buffalo, Oklahoma, reached 90 degrees today. That's pretty crazy for the end of October for this time of year. Now, more in Maine weather, I'll have what we can expect for this weekend, your game day forecast, and when this fall weather can finally make a return. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Grant. Excitement yesterday evening on Campus Corner, where a rooftop air conditioning unit sparked a fire. Norman firefighters responded and 15 minutes after arriving had the blaze under control. But not before a local marketing company suffered damage from smoke and water. NPD reports the quick reaction by Norman firefighters prevented the fire from doing major damage.
Opposing sides of 4 state questions Oklahomans will see on the ballot faced off in Gaylord Hall last night. Supporters and those fighting the measures discussed state questions 777, 780, 781, and 792. Former OETA Oklahoma News Report anchor Dick Pryor moderated the forum on issues ranging from alcohol modernization and criminal justice reform to the called Right to Farm Amendment. State questions 780 and 781 are designed to reclassify nonviolent drug possession and theft offenses from felonies to misdemeanors. OU Nightly's Mackenzie Burton reports on how a yes vote on the ballot will help alleviate the state's incarceration crisis.
But before that, still ahead on OU Nightly, Hillary Clinton might not be out of hot water yet, and Grant is here with weather.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. We had a package about state question 780, and here it is.
Oklahoma prisons are overcrowding at over 100% capacity, while at the same time being well below 100% staffing levels.
People are concerned about the excessively harsh sentencing for low-level offenses, and people are concerned about the lack of drug treatment and mental health services available across Oklahoma.
In addition to criminals receiving rehabilitation instead of incarceration, the measure will also increase the threshold of nonviolent theft. Randall Neely is an ex-felon for a nonviolent offense, and he believes the questions will benefit first-time offenders.
Nonviolent theft, it needs to go up because 500 is not enough to be a felony.
To put this into perspective, if someone were to steal the latest smartphone, that would be a felony.
Do I really want to spend hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars and put this scarlet letter of a felony on this person's life for something that really amounts to $500?
Law enforcement oppose the measures as being an incentive for criminals to commit more crimes, making the police's job even more difficult.
I think that we do have laws to not just have everybody running around with felonies.
These questions will look to provide better assistance for people struggling with addiction and help ex-criminals integrate into productive members of society. Mackenzie Burton reporting.
And JC Bayless joins us now in the news center with the latest on Clinton's emails. JC.
The FBI is reviewing new information related to Hillary Clinton's emails. The new emails were discovered in a separate investigation of Anthony Weiner and the text messages he sent to a 15-year-old girl. The FBI is trying to determine whether Hillary Clinton's emails contain pertinent information. At a rally in Manchester, New Hampshire today, Trump opened with some comments about Clinton's emails. After hearing the announcement, the crowd began to chant, "Lock her up." Trump then stated Clinton's corruption is on a level we've never seen before, followed by this comment.
We must not let her take her criminal scheme into the Oval Office. I have great respect for the fact that the FBI.
Protesters marched in the streets yesterday as a jury acquitted the Bundy brothers of their federal conspiracy and weapons charges. The Bundys and their 5 followers in January were charged with the violent occupation and force to occupy an Oregon wildlife reserve. The jury, however, feels that they were protesting government overreach. And the Supreme Court agreed to rule on a transgender rights case where Virginia public schools are fighting to prevent a female-born transgender student from using the boys' bathroom.
Thank you, JC. And students are filled with Sooner spirit as OU kicks off homecoming weekend. Campus Activities Council Chair Amy Schneeback said the group worked all week to throw the best homecoming yet. Brightly painted banners displayed on the South Oval and the stadium garage reflect this year's theme, Colors Proudly Gleaming. The CAC wanted this year's homecoming events to be inclusive to other student groups and the community, but Schneeback said that the main priority is security for the attendees due to the tragedy at OSU last year.
Security is not something that we're taking lightly. We are taking it very seriously, and we're working with OUPD to make sure that everyone will be safe tomorrow during the parade.
The homecoming parade starts tomorrow at 3 p.m. on Boyd Street. And if you're traveling down this weekend for the homecoming festivities, the city today reopened Lindsay Street between Berry Road and Pickard Avenue.
Still ahead on OU Nightly, trick-or-treating this weekend? We've got some tips for you.
And Grant, what's the weather going to be like for this weekend?
Warm and windy out there right now, but we will finally start to see a return for fall the end of next week. I'll have more of that next. Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Grant Tosterud. Well, a few rain showers moving onto the coast out in California, but elsewhere across the country pretty quiet, including here in Norman, where it's currently 83 degrees outside right now under partly cloudy skies. A little bit windy out there with southerly winds around 13 miles per hour. Now, these have been the high temperatures over the past week. And as we track these, this is back to last Friday. So temperatures were around average this time a week ago, but they skyrocket well above average up to today, where we reached 83 degrees today. Temperatures as much as 15 degrees above normal. Now, these dry and hot conditions are not doing very good for our drought. Drought has has moved its way back into the state once again. We haven't seen drought conditions like this since almost a year ago. So this hot and dry weather is not doing good for that soil out there. Now tonight, pretty mild and warm, 73 degrees by 8 p.m., clear all night. Winds will stay out of the south. Warm, windy, but mild by midnight. Elsewhere across the state, 63 here in Norman tonight, 63 in Oklahoma City. The average this time of year for the low is 47 degrees, so well above average for what we usually see at the end of October. Tomorrow morning, 63 degrees. Winds will stay out of the south, but they will increase throughout the day up to 20 to 25 miles per hour. Gusting as high as 35 by the afternoon under partly cloudy skies. Across the state, another warm day tomorrow, 85 in Norman, 86 in Oklahoma City, almost 90 up in the Panhandle. We could see temperatures there again tomorrow. Now Saturday rather, 85 degrees, hot and windy. That will stick around us with Sunday. Winds won't be as strong, but as we move into next week, your Halloween looks sunny and warm, and then a chance for rain on Wednesday. And then finally, fall makes a return next Friday.
Great. I cannot wait for that.
I know, it's a welcome to relief to a lot of people, I'm sure.
Thanks, Grant.
Yes, and happy homecoming. That's it for news this Friday night, but don't leave just yet. Big Friday Sports is on deck.
Our sports team gives you an extended look at what's happening in sports. Steven is here with more.
Thanks, guys. The Big 12 Conference will have a conference championship game. Meanwhile, we give our thoughts on this weekend's football game. Stick around. Big Friday Sports is around the corner.
I know they're way better than what the record shows.
Top 3 or 4 defense in the conference.
Coach Beatty and his staff have done a great job.
Got a very talented pass rusher.
You see it, excellent execution.
I know we're going to get their best.
We're expecting them to come in and just guns blazing.
Wow, Steven, this could be the biggest game of the year. Did you hear Ohio State's back in town for a rematch?
I didn't hear that. I thought we were facing someone else, but I'm excited for the rematch. You know, I think I'm going to go to the game now. It's exciting. Ohio State's back in town, really?
Oh, well, no, that's not true.
Oh,
but
okay.
the Sooners are looking to start the conference 5-0 for the first time since the 2004-2005 season. To do that, they will have to win homecoming tomorrow, and look who's coming to town.
No, I know we're not in Kansas.
No, Dorothy, we are in Norman. Last year when the Sooners were in Kansas, they routed the Jayhawks 62-7. Bob Stoops has never lost to Kansas as a head coach, and has won by 2 touchdowns or more in the team's wins over Kansas. However, the team still thinks they are a challenge.
I think they're one of the top, of what I've seen, one of the top 3 or 4, and that may be being too conservative, but one of the top 3 or 4 defenses in the league.
That was Lincoln Riley's opinion. Take a listen to what others had to say about the game.
I mean, we've been getting constantly better and better every week. It's been a one game at a time mentality, and that's what we're doing. And then we didn't. Yeah, the second half was good, almost perfect. But the first half, we still should have had more points. Obviously, I should have had more. Got put in a field goal position. Should have converted on the 4th and 1 on the run. Just got to be better in those situations. Those are big time drives in a game like that.
Starting out 4-0, offense is picking it up a lot. We're getting a lot of different things working with our line, with our receivers. You know, we're kind of flowing together, all 11 of us at the same time.
They're, top 3 or 4 defense in the conference. They got a very talented pass rusher. He's a good player. He was only a true freshman last year, and he's going to keep getting better and better. They're just playing better as a unit all around. They trust in their secondary and their front lines, making a lot of plays.
I don't think anyone, feels good about what happened. I don't think anything will take that away from that until we get on the field and, have an opportunity to prove ourselves again. We moved on, and you got to let it go. And Saturday's a new day. We got 5 games left. If we want to win Saturday and do our part, we're going to have to play good defense. It's a much different Kansas team.
Well, I know they're way better than what the record shows. A lot of close games, a lot of things that if it went one way for them, it would have been a different outcome. So, I know we're going to get their best.
Chris, I'm glad to see that the Sooners aren't taking Kansas lightly.
Why is that, Steven?
Well, here it is. Heading into this game, the Sooners are a 35-point favorite, making my key avoid overconfidence. If the Sooners want to live up to that 35-point margin, they have to come out pedal to the metal, no-holds-barred type of football. I know the Jayhawks are 1-6, but look at what Appalachian State almost did to Tennessee in Knoxville. They took them to overtime and almost won. The Sooners can't hold back. They can't go out there thinking this win will be handed to them. Kansas is still a D1 football program, and as Kevin Garnett once said, anything is possible! But hey, sorry you had to see my inner Kevin Garnett come out there, Chris. That's my key. What's yours?
Well, the last 2 weeks, the offense hasn't turned the ball over. So my key is for the offense to keep a clean slate for a 3rd straight game. When playing a team like Kansas, the only thing that can cost OU the game is turnovers, especially with the way the Sooners defense is playing right now. You can't give the Kansas team hope. They are in the game. Kansas's defense is 74th in the country in total defense. So the Sooners should be able to do what they want offensively and secure the ball. Also, Samaje Perine ran for a lot of yards the last 2 years on this team, so Joe Mixon should have a good game.
Yeah.
But also, one more piece of football news. Today, the Big 12 Conference announced the top 2 teams after the round-robin schedule next season, will play in the championship game. In that format last year, fans would have seen a Bedlam rematch against again a week after the game to determine the champion last season.
Now switching gears, last night was the 4th annual ALS Halloween baseball game. Ever since Pete Hughes walked through the doors at the University of Oklahoma, the Sooners baseball team have hosted the ALS Halloween baseball game. It's a night where fans, kids, and players come to L. Del Mitchell Park dressed in costumes, all for a good cause. ALS is a terrible disease that has taken the lives of many. Coach Hughes will always have this game and believes it's impactful to more than the players.
Well, first of all, it brings awareness to a terrible disease, and doing nothing with this disease is not an option. So we're going to continue to do this, raise awareness and raise funds until there's a cure. But it also brings out the community and the kids and families and gets them around what I think is the best part of our program, our kids.
And men's golf is preparing this week for the dreadful trip to Hawaii to play in their last event of the fall schedule next weekend. The Sooners are coming off a disappointing 6th place finish last weekend in Georgia, where senior Max McGreevy shared the tournament title.
I think what we've put together in these first 4 events, and hopefully a last one, will kind of let people know that Oklahoma's here to play.
Another Sooner team playing this weekend is the OU women's soccer team. The Sooners are ranked 24th in the nation and take midfield tonight in Lubbock against the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Start time is 7 p.m.
The Sooner rowing team heads to Austin, Texas tomorrow to participate in the Head of Colorado event. Action starts bright and early at 8 in the morning.
The OU women's golf team is in Wilmington, North Carolina for the Country Club Landfall. After the first round of play, the Sooners lead by 4 strokes. Live scoring is available at golfstat.com.
Men's and women's cross country will be competing for Big 12 championships tomorrow morning. The conference event takes place in Lubbock, Texas at 10.
We're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere.
Well, we're previewing the World Series return to Wrigley when we come back. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Big Friday Sports. I'm Grant Tossard. Well, tomorrow's going to be a warm and windy football game. Up in the 80s in the afternoon, very windy, gusts up to 30 miles per hour. But by kickoff, we'll be in temperatures in the upper 70s. Winds will be out of the south 15 to 20 and eventually die off through the evening as we cool into the lower 70s. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Grant. Welcome back to Big Friday Sports. It looks like the weather is going to be nice here this weekend, Stephen. What else is happening in the Big 12?
Well, Chris, let's take a look at what the schedule says. The 10th ranked West Virginia Mountaineers are in Stillwater facing off against the Oklahoma State Cowboys. The Texas Tech Red Raiders will be in Fort Worth against the Horned Frogs. And the 8th ranked Baylor Bears will travel to Austin to kick off against the Longhorns. And college football has been electric this year, and last night's game was no different. The big O lineman taking the ball around the end for a touchdown, that'll get the guys fired up. Nathan Peterman flips it to James Conner for the 2-point conversion, 29-29. We're all knotted up. Virginia Tech's quarterback drops back, throws the back shoulder fade to Isaiah Ford for the touchdown, and it would be the game-sealing touchdown, 39-36. Virginia Tech Hokies would go on to win.
And moving on to baseball, for the first time in 71 years tonight, a World Series game is being played at Wrigley Field. The Chicago Cubs and Cleveland Indians split the first 2 games of the Fall Classic in Cleveland. It was announced yesterday that outfielder Kyle Schwarber is not cleared to play in the field. Schwarber and his hot bat, however, will be available to pinch hit in tonight's game.
Offense, the at-bats they were putting together in Game 2 there were awesome to see. So hopefully they can stay hot, keep it rolling, get a lead. Like you said, against that team, if you can get a lead, that's a lot better. You know, you get behind with that bullpen, it's tough. So we're going to go out, try and jump on it early, kind of set the tempo. But, yeah, I'm just going to try and take advantage of the opportunity.
And the Thunder fans will get their first real look at their KD-less team tonight at the Chesapeake. Russell Westbrook most likely won't see this tonight from Thunder fans as they take on the Jazz. The Oklahoma City Thunder are coming off a nail-biting win against the Philadelphia 76ers. Victor Oladipo struggled through the game, only shooting 4 of 16 from the field and finishing with 10 points. But Russell Westbrook finished the night with 32 points, 12 boards, and 9 assists. 1 assist away from a triple-double. Tip-off for tonight is 7 p.m.
Staying with basketball, watch out LeBron James and the rest of the NBA. 3-year-old Carter of Boise, Idaho is coming for your jobs. He can dribble like one of his favorite players, Stephen Curry. Carter's parents say he's grown up with a basketball in his hands, just not on the weekends.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly Sports. Be sure to join us Monday for OU Nightly with a look back at the weekend in Sooner Sports.
And Remember Sooner Sports Pad comes with this season on Tuesday nights here on OU TV at what time? Oh. On behalf of our OU Nightly team, have a great weekend.